OOPS in Python. So OOPS stands for Object Oriented Programming, and as I've told you earlier, that everything is object in Python. So it is quite understandable that Python follows OOPS concept, because whatever you do, the answer will be in form of object or methods. For example, if I'm writing type, if I'm taking a variable type is equal to 10, I've told you earlier, and then printing the type, print type of D. So it's saying that it belongs to a class integer. So even the answer for few things are is in form of, it's telling that it's a class, like it's following the OOPS concept. I'm using this function type, which will be a part of something, uh, some any method. I'm using print, it method will be part of some class. So if I do dir print, so it will tell me that where does it belong. So it belongs to, these are the attributes and attributes inside the function print. So dir, or known as the directory, it tells you the directory of the function or a class. So we can use dir with anything. So it tells that what all the attributes, or what are all the functions inside a function or a class. If I do dir of type, so I think bracket is not required. So these are the attributes. So yeah, so everything is object in Python. Okay, so pa so oops in Python contains basically three things: class, object, and inheritance. So class, we all know, is like a structure. So for example, structure for something. For example, if I take example of a car, so designing of a car, the initial design, that how will a class will be made, will be the blueprint. That blueprint will be the class. We can say that this is the class for the car. And when that car has been made in a factory and that car is standing in front of you, we can say that that's the object car, which was made from the blueprint, and that is the instance of the class. That blueprint has taken some space. So similarly, that same concept is followed by Python. The class is like the structure, that how everything going to be, that is like a map or a blueprint, and the object is the memory associated, like it has some name, it has some memory associated with that blueprint. So to define class, we have object, sorry, we write the keyword class and then class name. So I'll take car. Okay, I'm making object car. So this blueprint contains number of tire, number of tire. Okay, I'm writing is equal to 0, and I'm writing of number engine number. I'm writing engine underscore number is equal to string. I'm taking at string. Okay, I will be initializing some value here. So number of tire 4, and engine number will be ABC 1 2 3 XYZ. Okay, so this is my basic blueprint, very basic blueprint. Now I'm out. So anything in this with this indentation will be the part of the class, because Python follows indentation. We don't have anything known as bracket to make a block. So anything inside this will be the part of the class. And now I'm going out of the class. Okay, now I will be making the object for this class. So object ob car is equal to car with a bracket. So the object is made by the class name with a bracket. Okay, and then I'll be accessing these two variables. These variables are called attributes. These are called attributes. Hashtag attributes. So I will be calling both of the attributes and printing them. Print number of tire and print engine number. So because these two attributes are the part of this class car, so after making the object, I can access this. Okay. Oh, sorry. The issue is I've not linked it with the object. So ob car dot number of tire ob car dot engine number, enter. So you can see it's printing 4 and the engine number here. Now this is when I'm accessing it outside of the class, like I'm accessing it somewhere by calling the object. So what about if I want to make a function display and call these two variables using that function display? I want something to be part of this class so that I don't have to call the attributes. I can simply just call the method, one single method, and both will be printed. So I will make a function def. So as you can see that I can access these both attributes outside the class. So this means that this is publicly publicly accessible. That's why I can access these attributes, and even this function will be able to, like I will be able to access this function outside the class. So we can say that this class, the attributes of these class are public. So def, so now I will be making a function def. Okay, the function is also called as method. So I will be making a method def display bracket semicolon, enter. You can see we have indentation here. Now I will print these two variables, control X. Here I want to access this from inside. And I will remove this object name. Okay, and now I will directly call this function with the help of my object. So obcar dot display. So when I will hit enter, so this will throw an error. So this is throwing an error. Display takes 0 positional argument, but 1 was given. So the issue is that there is a keyword known as self which is required, and that keyword is used for implementing the method in a class. So to make this method part of the class, we write the keyword self. Okay, so I will run it again, and this self keyword should always be the first keyword if a number of attributes are like we don't have any attribute here, so it's just self. If I would have one or two attributes, the self is always the first parameter here, always the first. Okay, I should always, like, you should be self comma a comma b. If two parameters are being passed, it can't be c comma self comma a, it will throw error. So self is always the first parameter. So I will run it again, and now there is an error with number of tire is not defined. Why? Because as I've told you, the self is used to be method to be part of this class. So these attributes inside the method want to be uh, want to be the part of the, this this method is using self to be part of the class. So to connect these two attributes, I need to write self dot and the attribute name. Same here, self dot attribute name. Now I will run it again, and it was printed. So this self is like this in Java. This how this works. To same way the self works in kind of the same way the selves work in Python. Okay, so here is another example. Here is an example here to use the self keyword. Okay, now if I want to call another method inside a method, I need to write self for that method also. Like if I make a method, another method, this method is display, and if I have another method, okay, let me define another method def. Okay, I'm taking another value mileage. Okay, mileage is equal to, right now I have defined it like it is initialized at 0. I will write print self dot mileage. Okay, and I want to I'll be calling display inside the mileage def details. Okay, self. So here what I'm doing is I'm simply I'm just simply uh, giving a value to mileage, and then I'm displaying the function after giving the value to my mileage, which was initially 0. I will, okay, now I will run details. Okay, now I will call this function. Now as you can see, the answer is 4 engine number and mileage. Okay, to make it better to understand, I will write number of tires. Write number of tires simply, comma, engine number, comma. So it is easy to understand. So what if I want the value of mileage from user? So I'll be passing the argument. I'm writing it as m, and I'm writing it as m, and I am sending the value of mileage by after taking it from user. So m is equal to int, m is equal to float int, sorry, input, and then enter mileage, and then this m is being sent the M taken from the user is being sent. I will run it again. Enter mileage 12.1, and you can see the mileage which was entered here is displayed. So even if I'm passing a parameter, as I've told you before, self should be there and self should be the first parameter. What if I told you it should be first, but what if I put it as second? So it's throwing an error for float object has no attribute mileage. Okay, because it's not able to connect with this attributes. Self comma M 12, and it runs. Okay, I told you about the dir. Dir is an inbuilt function to see the attributes of a class. Okay, so I told you, showed you dir of sprint, and now I'll show you the dir of dir class. Sorry, dir of class car. Okay, so I will write the class name, and this is, so you can see this is details. Details is a method, and display is a method. Engine number is a attribute. Mileage is a attribute. Number of tires is the attribute of the class which I made here. Now the next topic in this is access specifier. So class, as you know, it can be either public or private. If you have known you OOPS concept before, you know that there is a concept of class and public access specifier, and by default the class name is, by default the class is public in Python, and we can have a private class also. Private, you know, if the private attributes or method can't be accessed outside of class. So I will define the class again. I'll use that class car again. So class car. Now I am defining this both the attributes as private. You know, the private can't be accessed outside of the class. Okay, to define an attribute or a method as private, we use to underscore 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 number of tire. Okay, I will simply write tire. Okay, tire is equal to 4, and underscore underscore engine number is equal to ASD 123 123. Okay, and now I will have a method which is public because I'm not writing any underscore underscore before it. Display. So by default the access specify the access of these attribute is public in Python. So def display self to implement the method. Okay, print self dot underscore underscore tire, and print self dot underscore underscore engine underscore number. Now out of this class, object is equal to car, and now I will call this display method ob dot display. Now we'll run it. So this is a spelling mistake. Okay, it's not underscore. And again the spelling mistake by me. So I can access the attributes from inside the class, or like I can access the attributes of the class inside the methods of the class. This is you can see. What if I try to access it outside the class? So ob dot underscore underscore tire, and I will write, okay, I'll write here control print. I'm writing in another block so that whenever I'm running this block again and again, this is being initialized and made again and again. So I'm writing in another block so that I can it will not be reinitialized. So it is a continuation after this. So ob dot tire, and I will run it. So it's throwing an error. Car object has no attribute tire. Sorry, underscore tire. So because we can't access the attributes or method which are private inside the class from outside. What if I did underscore underscore display and called it here? Okay, I will call it. So car object has no attribute display. Okay. And what if I did that again, that def, okay, this red color is because of the indentation error. Okay, display details, okay, and tire, it's 5. Now I want to include the stepney tire also. So for the tire, number of tire used, like number of tire in a car, so we have 4 plus 1 extra tire, so I'm writing 5 here. Self comma 5 comma, and engine number, I'm changing it, AW4. Okay, and now what I will do is, okay, tire is equal to 5, en is equal to this number, control x, control v, c comma e. Okay, semicolon, underscore self dot underscore tire is equal to t, and self dot underscore engine number is equal to e, and then I will call this display function as underscore display bracket self, no, I need to write self here, self dot underscore display, and no, self here. Now I will pass these arguments. So ob dot details bracket tyre comma en. So it should run, and it run. So now it's able to print the details 5 and number. I've changed the engine number, it's for the other car, and I'm including all the tires present inside the car, 4 tire plus 1 extra tire. So I can able I've changed the details, so I can access this display function inside the class, but I can't access the display function or these private attributes and this private function or method outside of the class. So next we have constructor. We all know what constructor means. Constructor is the initializer. So whenever the object is called, whenever the object is made, so if there is any values to be initialized, it is initialized. If no values is to be initialized, it initialize nothing. So in Python, the constructor in C++, the constructor is same as the class name, but in Python, the constructor name is underscore underscore init underscore underscore. So the first underscore is for private and init means the initializer. The constructor is called automatically and it is used to initialize the value. So I'll use the constructor in this example only. So here I will write number of tires 0 and I will keep it as empty string. Okay, so now I have the initializer def, it's a method, so I need to write def to tell it's a method, underscore underscore init underscore underscore bracket self, because to be initialized, to be part of the class, comma t comma e. So I will remove this t comma e here because I'm removing this t comma e here because initially I'm okay, I will keep just t here. Okay, I should add one more details, underscore underscore number of pass is equal to 0. So this is for number of passengers. So te and I will write p here. So first I will initialize the constructor. Okay, so for no confusion, so this is the constructor underscore underscore init underscore underscore self te, and I'm not initializing number of passenger. I want to just initialize two value, tire and number of engine number. Okay, so semicolon enter. So self dot tire is equal to t, self dot underscore 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 tire is equal to t, and self dot underscore underscore engine number is equal to e. Okay, so I initialize these two value. Now 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 self dot underscore underscore number of pass is equal to, I'm not throwing any value, passenger is equal to 2, and print, I'm adding number of pass in print self dot underscore underscore number of passenger. I will remove this. Okay, so because I'm having, okay, so I'll start with a default uh, constructor with no value in parameter. So 4 here and A, B, C, D, 3 4 5 here, and I will simply run it, the constructor. So this is when I have this is default constructor with no parameter. Now I will pass parameter t comma e. So this is t and this is e. Okay, so now to give values to t and e, so when I'm making the object for the car, at that time I will provide the value. So for number of tire 4 and engine number a b c 1 1 2 3. So I've shown you like how I'm calling the constructor. Okay, now what I will do, I will pass the parameter when calling the detail function, and I hope it works. 2 3. Okay, I'll take the input. Pass is equal to int input number of passenger. Oh, sorry, I can't take pass because pass is a keyword. Okay, so I will not passenger. Okay, now I will run it. Number of passenger 5, and it should work, but it's not working. Okay, what if it's saying to initialize here self dot. Okay, so this will be a by default passenger 1. Okay, by default passenger because driver is also considered a passenger, so by default 1. Number of passenger 5, and okay, so it's taking the default, but it's not working. It should work. Details. Number of passenger. Okay, there is a spelling mistake. It was on of passenger. Number of passenger 5, and now it's taking 5. So now it's taking 5, and if I okay, so it was just a spelling mistake. So next topic is the destructor in Python. So we all know constructor is called when the object is being initialized, and destructor is called when the object is going out of scope, and or when the instance or when the object is being unallocated out of the memory, simply when the object is being killed by the interpreter. Like constructor, destructor is also called automatically. Our constructor is also called automatically. Destructor is also called automatically. So, for for constructor, we had underscore underscore init underscore underscore function, and for destructor we have underscore underscore del underscore underscore function. Okay. So what will happen if I add destructor to this function only? So to this class only. So now a destructor def underscore underscore del underscore underscore. Okay, semicolon print end of class. So I should run it. Number of passenger 2 and it's not showing anything. Why? It's not showing anything because what is happening when the instance being killed, even this our program is getting ended. So that's why it's not showing any um, end of class display. Okay. So what will happen? Uh, what will happen? Okay, so if I call this function in a class, okay, so def call underscore fun bracket semicolon and then a tab for indentation, tab for this indentation, tab for this indentation. Okay, I will, okay, what will I will do? Control X. I will take out this outside of the class. Enter. Sorry, I will take this line out of this. Okay, and passenger. Okay, passenger, and I will call this function. So call underscore fun and then call underscore fun, and I will send passenger and then print in main. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm calling this class in a function. So when this function will end, the scope of this class will end and the destructor should be called. Previously when I showed, because when the scope was in this output, there is no end of class, because when the scope is ending, even the program is ending, so there is the interpreter is not getting the point to print end of class. So here it should print the end of class, like simply the destructor being called should be there. So I will run it. Number of passenger, I'm taking it as 2. Okay, so there is an error, line 29, line 29, where? Okay, it should also have self. I forgot the self. For self is for initializing it with the initializing method with the class. So I will run it again. Number of passenger, I will do it as 1, enter. So you can see number of passenger, I entered 1, then it's printing 4, then it's printing the engine number, then it's printing number of passenger, then it's calling the destructor, end of class, and then print in main. So this is how the destructor work and this is how the constructor works. So I will show you the example here. Here I'm deleting. Okay, so in this example, I'm deleting the class. So when I'm deleting the class, I'm specifically deleting the class, the destructor is being called. And when I showed you the example before in which the destructor was not showing because I was not deleting the program, and when the Python interpreter will end the object memory allocation, you won't be able to see at that time. So I'm using delete and the class, and therefore the destructor executed is getting printed. Okay, and here end of class, it's being printed because I'm coming out of this function, and when I'm coming out of this function, the scope is ending because the object here is local scope and it's getting ended. Scope is getting ended. It's not a global scope object, it's a local scope object. That is why end of class is getting printed.